we have a very special guest is joining us. You can't. I don't think she can see our chat. I don't think she has access to our chat. But you know her. You know her. You know her. You don't see me yet. You know her from Buffy. You know her from WandaVision, as well as Agatha all along. One of the most amazing humans on the planet. The one, the only Emma Caulfield, everybody.
Oh my god. Oh, there's like a fun delay. Okay, I'm gonna stop moving.
Yeah, don't watch yourself down there. You just try to.
I was like, there you are, and then I see myself. So I'm gonna I'm just gonna put something in front of it.
Just put a book in front of that or something like that.
There we go.
Tape.
I put a jar of Baby Bum Mineral 50 sunblock. That's what I just. That's the only thing I had.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever works.
We have it. We have it pinned at the top of chat right now. But y'all, we kind of got Emma talked into joining Twitch here, and her Twitch name is at the top of chat right now. So if you've not yet given Emma a tickle, given her a follow yet, please do so now. Let's go ahead and do that now. Tickle that link. Give her a follow over there. And if she enjoys her time here, maybe she'll start streaming a little bit here on Twitch, and we can come check out all the amazing weirdness that is Emma Caulfield. I remember the first conversation we had. You were like, "Nobody's gonna want to watch me. I'm weird," and I was like, Emma, you're home. This is our world. This is where we are. We're all weird. We love the weird. We embrace the weird. That is one of the best things about Twitch, is that it gives us an opportunity to all be ourselves. No filter, no judgment. Just be yourself. And I love that. I love that about this platform. It's one of the reasons why I got on it. I got stuck here back in 2020 during COVID, and I needed a creative outlet. I was in TV, and I needed something to do. I wasn't traveling anymore. I wasn't working anymore. I was like, I need something to do. And I was like, I have all of this cool gear. Let's do something about it. Right. So I've loved it here ever since. So it's been an absolute blast, and I cannot wait to see what you do with the platform, and we'll get into more of that. No pressure. No, it's fine. We'll get into more of that as the night goes on. But Zach is the weirdest. Yes, I am the weirdest. You had a busy weekend this past weekend. You were off at a con. Where was the con that you were at?
It's Phil.
It's hard to remember.
It took me a second. It took me a second. I'm sorry. I have literally. I was just telling you before we started. I just hit the ground running today. The Mount Joshua tree, and so I flew into LA last night at midnight. Stayed at the hotel, and charged the car. That took longer than I thought it was going to take. I went to a couple of different places. Look, I am all for my electric vehicle, the EV. I'm all for it. But trips, when you drive past a certain amount, you gotta think about it. And I didn't think about it when I parked my car for the weekend. I'm like, it'll be fine. And I'm like, I have no way to get back to Joshua Tree. I have to charge my car. And boring. But I did ultimately do it. And I made it here just in time for a Zoom meeting that I had. And then daughter is like, Mom, I haven't seen you in a few days, and all kinds of stuff. And then whoosh, it's time to talk to you.
Right.
And here I am.
I know.
And yes, I was there, and it took me a second to remember exactly, because I thought I was going to Texas this whole weekend. And I wasn't in Texas at all. I was in Alabama. I was like, oh yeah. I told people, I'm in Texas. Nope.
I mean, trust me. I've been there. Not to that.
Huntsville is not in Texas.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I've been there, not to that level, but I've definitely, I've done the travel thing so much for gigs all across the country, and it's, you get to the point where, especially when you're doing back-to-backs, and you just don't. You forget day, you forget what day it is, and it's just, you forget what hotel you're staying in, and it gets it gets kind of crazy. So I don't, it's funny. A lot of people, my family, and I know, over the years that you've been a professional working actor, you've had this happen. I guarantee you've had this happen where somebody was like asking you about your travels and about your work, and they're all like, that sounds so exciting. And we're all in the background going, it's not glamorous. It's not.
I mean, look, can it be sure. Sure. But a lot of the time it's just straight hustle,
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It's full hustle. And that's fine. I like hustling. I like
You've been doing it a
hustling,
long
but
time.
I have been. I have been doing this a long time. And when I go and do a convention, I haven't done one. I did one last year. And somebody at the con reminded me of this con I was at last year. And like, oh, I was at that con. And I was like, oh, cool. And I mean it sincerely. I was like, or I meant it sincerely. I said, I don't remember being there. I was there at this place. I was there. And they're like, yeah, you were there. And I'm like, okay. They're like, you don't remember? And I'm like, I mean, I don't see. They're like, how do you not know what cities you're in? I said, because I don't see any of the cities I'm in.
Right.
I literally go from an airport straight to the hotel. I go to bed, I wake up, I'm taken to a place and they all look exactly the same. It's just a big convention hall. I'm there the whole day. I get back to the hotel at like 6, eat dinner, go to bed, rinse and repeat. And then I get back straight on a plane. I never see a city. I've been to so many places. And I'm like, I've heard it's really pretty. I couldn't tell you. Apparently I was in Dublin once for a convention, and I stone cold do not even remember getting on a plane to go to Ireland. I'm like, I apparently it's great. I didn't see any of Ireland. Because usually I have to get right back. I just the way it's been, I haven't had any chance to like go early or stay for a couple of days and see some of the places, but the next one, I'll make sure that I stay a little bit.
I mean, I used to do all the video marketing for my hometown city here of Indianapolis, and they would always send me out for
I've been there.
You've been there?
Been there.
You didn't see any of the city though.
Didn't see any of it. Not one lick of it, but I know I've been there.
They would always send me out for Indy 500 and to interview all the people that were coming in for the big race, right? And that was like, I had, the marketing director would always hand me a list of questions, and they were all like, "What did you think about this? What do you think about?" And I was always pushing back. I'm like, "Dude, they didn't go out and see anything. They didn't see anything. They're in here. They came straight from the airport. They went to the race, and they're flying out tonight. Like, they're not gonna." Like, what do you want me to get out of these people? So I always got the canned. It looks really nice from the airport.
Well, mine is usually, hey, the people are really nice, and that actually is
Sure.
universally true. The people are really nice, and the southern cities especially, they're very southern. You would expect the southern hospitality. That's an actual real thing. But yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. They all look exactly the same.
Now
the buildings, not
right, not the right. You were born and raised in San Diego, so you've been West Coaster forever?
I've been a California girl my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came up here for college and never left. And I got, pulled into the acting business. Like literally, like, hey, you should be an actor. Here's my card. And I was like, oh, okay, loser.
Oh, I was one of those. You were like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
but he was actually a really legit agent at a really good agency that what did I do? I didn't even Google. What the hell did I do to find out then? This was 1993. I don't know, I guess.
You probably just had to
92,
leap of faith at that point, probably, huh?
I don't know how I researched. I literally can't remember how I researched anything anymore because most of my life is, the internet, but I'm like, before that, how did I look up, like, was there like a newspaper? Like, I couldn't even tell you like how I found out that they were good. They were ranked. And I remember going somewhere and being like, oh, maybe it was like some site or like pick up like a Hollywood Reporter or
Well, you were
one of those. And I was like, oh, you're legit. So I called and started working, and that was pretty much it.
you were waiting tables at the time, right? When that happened, was it like somebody
It
like?
was, I had just finished my shift, and I was living in Westwood, and I was walking back to my apartment that I shared with 3 people.
Huh.
I shared a room. I paid $300. I remember I paid $300 to share a room. And he just stopped me on the street. That was it. And I waited a month or 2. I waited a while. It's like, I never threw the card away, but I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna get my degree. I'm a psychology major, so I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. And everyone's like, you're so dumb. Like, what are you doing? Just go out. Like, you've done school plays, you've done this or you've done that. Like, it wasn't like I never thought, oh, I'd get into it. I thought, yeah, no, it'd be really cool. I could be an actress. Like, but I wanted, I went to like a college prep school where it's like, you go to college, everyone goes to college. This is your thing. Get your degree, very sensible. I was like, well, I should have my degree first, and then, if I want to do that, I can, whatever. But it came to me. So I was like, I guess this is what I'm going to go do. And I did. And I never finished college, and it makes me so mad that I never did. I wish I had. That's it. That's my one and really only regret, that I didn't do that. Stay in school, kids. For real. Get that degree.
Is it ever anything that you think about going back, taking online courses?
I couldn't do that now.
Couldn't do that now? No.
Like, write a position paper? Like, what? Oh my God. No. Study something I don't want to study. Like, actually take the limited time I have and like do a science class. I mean, I like science now, but not enough to spend,
I don't blame you. I wouldn't do it either. I mean, no, there's no way. We've got one of our moderators here on the channel. He's going back to school to get his master's and or his bachelor's. He's got an associate's in nursing. He's going back to get his bachelor's in nursing and possibly beyond, right? And he's my age, and I'm just like going, dude, you are insane. I'm so like just impressed by you and your ability to want to do that, but like there's no way in hell that I would ever go do that.
I think I feel like I would never do this, but I feel like I wish there was some way that you could take some large test, you could take it over a week even. Did I lose you?
No, sorry. I'm going to cut back and forth a little bit to tight.
Oh, no, you're fine. Where you could take sort of a life test, they can just see what what you've retained, and then give you a grade. Be like, based on what you qualify for this degree. If you want to go into a specialty, you're going to have to go to med school, or you're going to have to do something like that. But just for your humanities, your history, math, science, art, like just what do you know? And just bypass a lot of that. I guess I've got to reapply to school, I don't know, get a life degree. It should be something like that.
Yeah.
Qualifies you to do a lot,
Do you remember your first ever role that you got after the guy got you his card and you took the leap of faith and called him? Do you remember what that would be?
I got a commercial.
Yeah.
And I booked a commercial, and I booked a guest star on a show. I don't remember what the guest star was. I do remember I made so many bad business decisions over the years. Seriously, I should not be left to my own devices. I was like, I should do the commercial instead of the guest star. Because I thought the commercial would air more. I was thinking like, oh, well, I could potentially make more money. Not having any idea, like, oh, you dummy, did you know you want to build a resume. You don't build it by commercials. You want to build it by doing the things that you want to go do. If you have a guest star, someone's going to hire you for another guest star. They'll hire you for a recurring, or they'll, whatever. But yeah, I was like, oh, I think it was a national commercial.
I was going to say,
I
some
want to say
people,
Kmart or something weird, like something like that. It was one of those chains. And I thought, oh, this is easy. I booked the two things I went out on. Oh, this is going to be cake. So
yeah.
I just, yeah, it wasn't cake at all, at all. But I did have beginner's luck, and had a fortunate meeting with Aaron Spelling for something I didn't get. And then I met him again and did a guest star on something else that he was doing, some new show. He remembered me from that. And then, whatever, 1996, Jesus Christ, 90s girl, booked 90210. And that was like a year of my life. And again, I thought, oh, well, kind of just, this is how things are going, I guess. But I was decidedly very not happy with the business side of it. I didn't like the people all that much, not the show. I not them. I mean, I don't know. It started getting really real, I think, instead of this sort of, hey, we're all just having fun. And it's like, oh no, there's the politics of it, and all the ugliness that literally, I mean, it's so true.
In the industry
so true.
itself, or
It was it's so much worse then, but it's still bad now, but it's so much worse then. Yeah, just gross stuff. Just you know, I mean, as a woman, as a young lady, yeah, I was like, oh, this is gross. And I was like, no, maybe I'll go back to school. I don't know. I was like, this isn't, I don't know. I eventually ended up on Buffy in 98.
Hmm.
And then never left there either. And kind of just, I don't know. I found myself in places based on an audition from something from whatever. The most of the really quality, at least work that I've done, has all been from having met somebody once. And then it's like, oh, we remember you. And it's like, hey, they're doing this thing, as opposed to just straight up auditioning and getting the part. Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot in that industry in general, where it's a certain casting agent or somebody saw somebody in a play, or they were pulled in from an audition that they didn't get. They saw a tape on that they didn't even and that kind of thing, and it ends up being a word of mouth kind of thing. So that seems to be what you've experienced then over the years.
Yeah, or just I like say, okay, I did a film called Timer with Jack Schaefer. That was her first film. She wrote and directed Timer, and we stayed tight. And that was one of my favorite things I've ever done, being involved in that project. And it was one of the few things that I read for that I really, really wanted. That doesn't happen all that often. You're like, oh, it's a good pilot, or it's whatever, and it's a job, and hey, but to actually, oh no, I really want this specific thing, this whatever, that doesn't happen that often. And when I got it, I was stoked. And then years later, we stayed in touch, and she's prolific and amazing. And she called me up, and she's like, hey, you want to be on WandaVision? And I was like, Marvel? And I was like, yes, of course.
Say less.
She's like, well, I've been trying to figure out something that we could really work on again. And I've been doing other things, but I haven't been in this space. I haven't been directing. I haven't been doing this. I've been doing a lot of writing, but nothing where I could and that's one of, and then of course, I had to be approved by Feige, but it was a relatively easy procedure. She's like, I can't tell you really anything about it. I just need you to go find something that looks fairly classic. Don't date it, like something that's not dated. Dress make your hair, like blow it out really nice. And you're going to go to this office and just read some sides. They weren't even real. It was like, just
Right.
go and, whatever. And I was like, okay. They went down, did it. Casting director was really sweet. And I was like, okay, bye. I guess. I don't know. And then I got a call and they're like, okay, you're going to Atlanta. And I was like, oh my God, great. And I went to Atlanta and then it was a table read with everybody. And then it was like, oh, so this is what the show is. Amazing. I had no clue until I was actually there, what it was and what they were going for and what they were, the whole plan, and then worked for them again. I've worked for her 3 times now. And so, yeah, I just like to keep working with her. And I love working with Marvel. It's a no joke company.
Did you know?
It's like, oh, wow.
Did
It's
you
like
know?
traveling first class. It's like, damn.
I can't even
Like,
imagine.
okay, this is how you're rolling, Yeah.
Did you know back when you
Right.
first met Jack that she was a freaking genius?
Yes.
My God.
1,000%. I knew when I read her script, I was like, this is absolutely amazing. I can see her in the casting office. I can see her laughing. Um, I there's an actress that I always lost jobs to. We look damn near identical. You can figure it out probably, but I'm not going to say who it is. But we were up for many of the same things, mirrored a very similar path, and she was like the one set to do the part. And then I came in and she was like, nope, it's you. And then I was like, no, actually,
knocked
yes, I
her down a
finally
peg.
got one. I finally got one that you didn't get. I've never gotten another one from her. She's continued to beat me every time, but I did get that one, and that was pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm assuming we probably have Marvel snipers probably in chat that aren't being seen or anything like that. So I am going to ask you, but when do you start shooting in London this week or next week or?
Oh, you're so funny.
That's not a denial, chat. That's not a denial. Okay.
You're so funny.
We do have,
the funny thing, the funny thing about doing this type of fun stuff. I'm sure we were going to get there anyway, but I'm going to slide in. You were like, oh, convince, what convinced you to come into Twitch or, whatever. And we were chatting about it. And it's that you can literally do it anywhere. That's what I really like about it. You take your weirdness, do it anywhere. It's not, I don't, so I'm excited to see what I come up with. I mean, I know what I've got ideas what I'm going to do.
I mean, lady, you're already like getting merch together and everything. And I got a little sneak peek at the merch and I'm like, yo, that's awesome. So
it's fine. I'm working on some other stuff too. It feeds into that other secret. I'm sorry I'm touching myself so much. I've gone through 2 different climates. I was in humidity and now I'm at the desert. So I'm like,
I can start playing the song if you need me to.
Coming out of my skin a little bit. It's so dry. I'm like,
it's fine.
Sorry.
No,
I'm just gonna sit on my hands.
It's totally fine. No, it's fine. Nobody. It's the old Schitt's Creek thing here on Twitch. Nobody cares, David. Nobody cares. It's fine. We started.
I saw Schitt's Creek and I don't remember what that is.
You don't remember that one? Oh my God. It is like Schitt's Creek is like there are a few shows that we watch just on repeat in our house, and Friends is one of them. Schitt's Creek is one of them. The Office and Parks and Rec.
Folding the cheese.
Yeah,
folding.
my wife has an apron.
Yeah,
that says that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get that.
So we're gonna end up having a lot of like we've got fans coming in submitting questions and whatnot, but I'm gonna try to go through some of the stuff here that you and I have talked about. But so you did the stint on 90210, and you what was outside of the industry? What was that like? You've remained friends with people from Buffy. Like, what were some of the acquaintances or friendships that you made while you were on 90210? Were there any that stick out in your mind?
Um, well, uh, like, there's no overstating how amazing a human being Luke Perry was.
Mm,
Uh, I mean, I wasn't in contact with him, um, for a while, but if I had seen, like, if we just weren't in the same sphere, we just weren't,
sure.
whatever. Um, but, when he died, that was gutting. Like, I I mean, that was really hard.
Mm,
Like, I really did feel like the world got. Can you swear here?
yes.
Swear here?
Yeah.
No, one of the rules, but it got just a little bit shittier,
Yeah.
It was like having that kind soul on the earth just made the whole planet, honestly, a better place. He was really that exceptional of a person. Um, so he left a very, like, just a big soul mark on me. Jason, hilarious. We worked together twice. Um, he's adorable, and I love him, and whenever we see each other, we have some friends in common or whatever, it's like, "Oh my god, hey," Um, and I just bumped into Brian Austin Green
Mm,
this weekend, actually, which was amazing. I haven't seen him, and I saw Tori, and I haven't seen Tori since the show ended. I saw Brian, I don't know, in 2000, I don't know, like 15. It's that even then, that's like 15 years ago since I'd seen him.
yeah.
But there's a familiarity there. It's like, wow, oh my God,
Yeah.
I've bumped into Ian several times this because we're so much better than everybody. We serve like Thanksgiving dinner at the homeless shelters. Yeah, like, take note.
You're so
Um,
much better than I
um,
love that.
and we get to catch up. He's lovely.
Yeah.
Um, but I was there a year as opposed to, I mean, Buffy was a really extended period of time,
Hmm.
and that's just, that's some core memories with that crew for sure.
Luke kind of took you under his wing right out of the gate, right?
He did. He took me right under his ring. His first words to me was, "How's it going, babe? How's it going?" He's like, "How's it going, kid? Don't let those bitches bring you down." He's like, "Yeah, how are the bitches treating you?" And I'm like, He's like, "No, it's okay. It's what they do. It's what they do. All right. All right. We got you."
I love that.
Um, yeah. Um,
So you went you
and yeah, it was an interesting group.
and I love that you like your it's crazy. Your career path has like been my life through pop culture, right? So it was like it started with 90210, right? Like that was the first show that I
Mhm,
remember being kind of obsessed with, right? And
mhm,
then we move into, Buffy realm. Now,
mhm,
Anya or Anyanka or whatever, like that was a
mhm.
2 episode arc,
One,
1 episode arc. Okay.
one.
How did that evolve into becoming a main character?
Um, I was just lucky. They liked me.
Mm,
Joss liked me. That was it. I mean, he called all the shots.
mhm,
That was the I delivered a line that made him laugh. Um, I don't think they'd ever intended it to be funny, but they were gonna lose their their comedic um, their go-to comedic beat, with Charisma leaving, going
mhm.
off to Angel, the same year that I started. So that was it. I think they're like, oh, she could fill a void. Let's give her a couple of more.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Let's give her a couple of more. Oh boy, oh no, my daughter. My daughter and my husband are home. Not now. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Welcome
goodness.
to live streaming on Twitch,
Welcome
everybody.
to live. Oh my
You know how many times
gosh.
my son has just randomly wandered down here behind me in the middle of a show or something? Like, it just happens, or my dog comes in, knocks something over or whatever. Like, that's part of the magic of the whole thing. It's amazing.
I would move you. I would move out of this room. Oh no, looks like I just kicked a Smurf. She's like so excited.
If you need a break, we can take a break.
No. It's fine. It's fine. And I was like, where can I go? But then I'm not sure I'll have any light and the rest of it. Yeah. I don't know what I was saying. Something so obviously
Well, let me ask you.
interesting.
Let me ask you about charisma. So you guys kind of cross paths on the show, right? Like, she left, you came in, but you guys are friends these days. How did that all happen?
I am gonna leave this room.
That's fine.
Okay. The lighting's gonna get interesting. You can come in. Come in. It's getting really dark.
It's fine.
Okay.
That's the beauty of the laptop. It'll adjust for us.
Sorry about that. I'm brightening it up. Okay, here we go.
Now, did you hear what I had said when you were
Yes.
moving? Okay.
Charisma, yeah. Charisma, my first episode was really with her. And then they brought me back and I did a couple more. I honestly don't remember the seasons or how it worked,
Sure.
but yeah, she was then pretty much gone. And we never worked together again. And it was really, we just ran into each other on a plane.
Mm.
Something I was like, that's charisma. Oh my God. And we were like,
Hi.
hey. And she's like, oh my God, what the, and then we stayed in touch, and we've seen each other throughout the years at cons or whatever gatherings. And so, yeah, we're quite friendly. She's, she lives in New York. So I'm definitely not going to run into, I don't, and I'm out here in Joshua Tree almost all the time now. So,
Right.
yeah, we don't see each other that much, but, yeah, she's, yeah, it's wild. And then we did Amber's podcast, the Slayers podcast. So then we actually really got to work together. I did scenes with her and Juliet, and more obviously with James, who I loved working with. He's such a fascinating person. I don't know if you ever get the chance to talk to him or meet him, but he's just wildly talented. So that was a really fun experience. But I mean, yeah, Sarah and I are close. Seth and I are close. Tom Lank. I mean, it's a little group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I gotta ask, what the hell happened with Anya's death? Like, nothing. It just kind of all of a sudden happened in the background, and okay, I guess one of our main beloved characters, that fan favorite, frankly, she just gone.
Well, I can't speak about how my death was executed. It did feel personal, but
Kind of looked like
whatever.
it.
Yeah, that felt personal. But I asked to be killed off,
Yeah.
so that part's not personal.
Right.
I thought we might go another season, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I think I'm okay. Yeah, but I didn't see the way that happened. I didn't see that one coming. But maybe that was pointed to. I don't know. I can't. He was like, no. Oh, you want to die? I don't know. Who knows? I don't care. I don't care. It's so long ago, but yeah, she didn't really get a proper send off. Bless her.
Yeah.
but I do stand by my decision for her to die because I thought that was really poetic.
Yeah. And I
You know,
think it's interesting, right? Like I'm, again, I'm a freaking Buffy nerd, right? Like I love the character. I love all the redemption arcs that it does carry. However, it also was a very you pay for your actions kind of show. There are consequences.
yeah.
And Anyanka was not a character that was very nice, when during her demon days,
Mhm.
right? So there was
Well, it depends on who you ask.
right. So it's just I don't know.
I mean,
It was interesting, but
she
why?
thought she was doing the right thing.
But that being said, why would you ask to have her
Oh,
killed
the
off at
reason.
that point then?
Because yeah, I think as a human person, right? Uh, her evolution, like, her ability to step outside of herself truly and do something that does not serve her at all. Like it, it was just I thought like a perfect button for her
Hmm.
to go out willing to give her life for a cause that was bigger than her, for her friendships that were bigger than her, for all of it, you know, um, to not look at it as a way to do another sort of bargain with the devil.
Hmm.
Like, no, I'd rather go out and try to save this life than exist in the life that this if we lose what that life will look like. Um, so yeah, I think yeah, I mean, sorry, but I'm really happy she died. I'm not, but I am. Like, she's sweet. I don't want her. For all her faults, I think she really was fundamentally like a really sweet person. Like, just she's like has a lot. She had a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, a
You
lot of programming to kind of get away from. I mean, I don't forget how old she was.
right.
I know, like, how do you not now? I'm like, because I don't remember. 1,100 years old, 1,000. I don't know. But she definitely had a lot of programming.
The
So,
my favorite and I think a lot of people's would be episode wise was that Once More with Feeling, the musical episode, right? What was the vibe on overall between the cast and everything? Like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna try this out. What do you think? Hard to remember.
I mean, I think it was new,
Hmm.
right? I was like, okay, um, are we gonna get more time? Are we getting? I mean, are we? I think that was probably my first thought. I was like, oh, we're gonna do this in 8 days. Like
Hmm.
that's a lot. But no, we had I think a month to do all of that. That was great. That was great. But definitely, we were re-energized. We needed that. Everybody needed that. That was something, you know. I mean, I could only kind of maybe equate that to like being in a long-term relationship and you decide to spice things up. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, we really do love each other. It's kind of like that.
Because it's a grind, right? You were doing 20, was it 22 episodes or 24 episodes a year? Yeah, it was a lot. But I mean, it's not like
Way
today.
more than they do now.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Well, 90210 was, God, that was like 34
Oh, geez.
episode, 34, 32 episodes. So they would do 2 episodes at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
double ups. I remember that. It's like a nightmare.
so life after Buffy, what was life for you like after
Damn,
Buffy?
dude, you gotta going back. You realize how long ago this is now? I
I
don't
don't
fucking know what I was doing
you
after
knew
Life of Buffy. I don't know. I don't remember what I did last week. I can barely remember my con. I was like, where was I 2 days ago? I was in Alabama. No, yes. Um, I look, I wanted to do different things. I wanted to produce and write. I wanted to do weird stuff. I wanted to, um, you know, I I I was being offered stuff and I I'm like I said, there were some really bad decisions. Some bad things that I was like, "Oh gosh, wow, I could have done that." That was really that would have been a really incredible experience. But then I honestly, like, everything has happened the way it happens. Would I be a mom? Would I be like, like, where would my life have been had I done those jobs? But you know, there was, a point where I was offered offered the lead of a show. It was being created with me in mind, with somebody very good, like prolific, continues to be prolific. And I thought I would try to get like my male counterparts. I should be a producer
Hmm.
in the second season or something. It was like second or third. It was maybe probably second. Like, oh, okay, well, if it does well, I'd like to have maybe an associate producer credit, something. I was trying to like get the equity. Again, like my male co-stars were doing, and that was not an option. It was like, no, and I really stayed for that, and I walked away because I didn't get that. And I think I was fighting fights that were just not the time. It's hardly still the time now, but it definitely wasn't the time then. So there were a lot of things that I was trying, like chess pieces I was maneuvering around after that time. So we're talking, 2004 to 2006, 2003 to 2006, somewhere in there. There were a lot of things I was saying no to, and instead putting my energy in here. And if I could go back and talk to that girl, say you could have played you should have, I think, played that game better. Thought, go for the long game as opposed to trying to get this victory right now. But again, I can't. Those were my decisions, for better or for worse. I made some choices.
Yeah. Do you want to take a quick question from? We got a lot of people asking questions. We got a little form.
Yeah, let's do some questions, because I am a mom, as we've discovered in this sesh. Not discovered, but she hasn't seen me in 4 or 5 days. Really.
Absolutely.
So like, let
me see. Let me grab one here.
This is the most unflattering situation. I've got gray, and like, this is actually like a really beautiful color, but it looks like this really bad bear brown. That's okay.
Looks great. Looks awesome.
That's okay.
We'll have to. We got to when you
some questions.
When we get you on Twitch, we're gonna have to get you a curated background.
My setup would be much better. But if anyone's going to ask me if I'm really afraid of bunnies, can I just kill those questions right now? Can I just not?
I'm deleting 17 of them about bunnies right now as we speak.
Jesus Christ! I've answered it a million times. Google it. Okay. Google it. In fact, I think for Twitch, I might just put a camera on the wild hares that are outside my kitchen in the morning, and I feed them carrots. Straight up, I do. I've got like a wildlife menagerie outside here. It's really magical.
Now, I know you don't, for you do a role and you kind of, you're moving on to the next thing kind of thing, right? Like it's kind of the process that you go in. But was there a role, this comes from Marvelous Tay here in chat, was there a role that, was there one role that challenged you more than you were prepared for, that you can think back and remember?
Challenged me more. I did a short film called Hollow. That's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I never knew what was happening the whole time. I gave complete trust to director and writer Paul Bickle, and I knew it was safe to do it. I was like, I know this is great. I just don't understand what is happening. I don't like, okay, now I'm going to go do this. What an odd direction. What an odd thing to ask me to go do. How is this going to how are you going to get from here to here?
Sure.
I was like, but I just was like, no, Pete, I know it's right. I was so not in my body. I was just like, I just completely surrendered to the whole thing. So when I saw it, I was like, this is fucking great. You go, girl. Like, you did a good job. Like, that's like the most me I've ever seen me. I was like, that's, I was so proud of that. And that was hard. That was a very hard thing
How long
to
does
do.
it?
And subject matter was also really hard. I mean, it was sad kid and abuse, and it was just like this whole weird nightmare, like a Vanilla Sky almost, just a
Yeah.
nightmare. Yeah, so it was like hard to get off of me.
And that's trust
And it,
with the the filmmaker you're working with, right? Like getting to that point where you trust them, and I know how long did it take with Jack to like realize like that. I mean, I know you said it was pretty quick that you realized that she was just a damn genius.
yeah.
Because that would have happened. I mean, that would have been in WandaVision as well,
Yeah.
right? Like going skipping time and going into WandaVision. Like I know you're standing around going, I have no idea how any of this all, because they're only going to give you what you need to know at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, it was like, well, the first time I worked with her, it was, I mean, I wanted that part so badly. So the script was so tight. Again, for Hollow, the short, it was more conceptual. Like, I had lines, right? It was like, where am I right now? Like, why am I saying these? And then we're cutting to this weird thing? Like, okay, so timer was far more linear. It was, it was very clear what it was. And she was so hilarious as a human being. And I was like, oh, that's great. Like, we're going to be great. We just, we clicked instantly. The cast clicked instantly. Everything was just this wonderful, perfect little moment. It was fantastic. I knew it was special. We only ever had, and we just laugh about this now. She really, she desperately wanted me to wear this red lipstick, and it's so stupid. And I was like, I am not wearing this red lipstick. I look bad in red lips. I don't wear red lips. I'm gonna look awful. Like, gotta have red lips. Blah 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 blah. And that was our only like. I'm not going to do it. Like, no, it's my face. Surely there has to be some other way for your symbolism to come through than my red god awful lips, She's like, I just need you to do the lips. And I'm like, fine. Or she was right. She was totally right.
Right.
But I was like, I don't know you well enough to let you put me in front. Like, what if it's going to look bad? Vanity. And then, years later, I discovered how much I do love a good red lip, which I wear all the time now. And I'll
Right.
send pictures of her, of it to her and be like, look who's wearing red lips, It's like, I told you. Listen to me next time, bitch, Like, I know. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think she's ever called me bitch, actually. That's more of a thing I do. What's up, bitch?
I mean, that's a kind of an established look now on your merch.
On the red, the red lips.
I love
I
it.
mean, it's a good lip color to imprint, I feel. The pink is so, I don't know. Like, it's pink. It's not really bold. Red's bold, but also like making it white. White's bold. It made a good impression.
On the black hat, I like the white on the black
white.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're discussing all the other colors. My friends are like, "You've never done a kiss like ever. Why? Why is this your thing right now?" I'm like, "I don't know."
New chapter. Why
I'm
not?
like, "I don't know." It just was like I thought that was just kind of cool. Like I would wear that, I think. I
Right.
would like, that's what I thought. I'm like, I would wear that. I think that's kind of cool. Um, and a friend of mine was like, I want some merch with your face though. I'd rather wear your face. And I'm like, um, yeah, okay. What can I do with my face? I don't know. It's all very fun. And I've always kind of had I wanted to design clothes for kids when I first had Knightley, my daughter, and I really was very much into, which is so funny because she's not this kid at all, but I very much wanted, like I wanted a lot of black clothes, and I couldn't find any black clothes for girls. And if they did, they had like bunnies on them, or like little bears, or they had, butterflies or whatever. Huh? Right. No. Yes.
Are you being
Um,
summoned?
Yeah, it was just a question I
Oh,
had. It was a very
very
important
important,
domestic
apparently. Oh my
question.
God.
Very important. Um, what was I saying? Fuck, see?
You're the black formal clothes for.
Yes, I wanted black clothes, and no one made them. They had all they made them like with, there wasn't. I don't know. The boys had cool black T-shirts, or they had cool black like harem pants, or they had I don't know. I just had, and I couldn't find anything. I was like, I need to start making, I needed to do like a kids line for clothes and make really cute girl clothes that have a lot of black in them that aren't like, we definitely know you're a girl though, because we're putting a big, you know, I don't know, pink unicorn on it too. It's like, can't we whatever. So long story is, this sort of unleashed a really fun desire that I've had to like make some merch.
Well, you also, I mean, you can doodle and
Yeah.
draw and stuff too, which you showed me. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, you can
I
do all
might
kinds of fun stuff with this platform. It's going to be great.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it'd be really fun, but like do as many, like if I have a period, like I'm on, whatever, an hour, 2 hours. I'm like, okay, in this hour, I'm gonna try to like, speed draw as many people as I can, like, ahead of time. Like I need a picture of somebody, send me I don't even know if you can do that. You're the expert. I don't know. Can someone
Sure.
send you
I
a
mean,
picture
if
of
you've
their
got
face?
the
Be like,
talent to do it, schmuck like me is not doing that. I can barely draw a stick
I did,
figure in
I
30
did, I
minutes.
did, I drew you. When the first time we chatted, I randomly sketched you really quick. I did fill it in, by the way, and it did look exactly like you. And I was like, I could do this. I could do this. I'll just like,
I was still going for Robert Reiner on it. I still feel like it had a little Robert Reiner kind of vibe to it, but
you
hey,
don't look anything like. I'm sorry to break. I don't know if you love him. You have a crush on him. You're so cute.
I do.
You don't
I
look
do.
anything like him.
He is my
Mm.
man crush. Most people are after Pedro. I'm after Rob Reiner. That's the way that works.
You don't look anything like Ryan. They're nothing. But I mean, if that's who you want to look like,
That's not who I
I
want to
can make
look
it for
like.
you. I can add some stuff. Yeah, or just if I don't do that, just like, you know, sketch. I use pen, but also, I have a ton of charcoal, and that's my special medium. It's faces though. If you're like, oh, can you draw? I don't know, draw like a room, draw like nature scene or something. I mean, like, okay, my skill set completely goes to trash. But if someone's face, um, yeah, I think I've got I've got some skills that I like. And I actually don't care if anybody likes it because I just like doing it, honestly. Like if, someone could think I'm horrible, I'm like, okay, good for you. I don't care. I think it's good. So I really do like doing that. I love painting. I love puzzles. I know a lot of people on Twitch are gamers, and I'm not a gamer at all.
The
The only game I ever got into was Tiger Woods golf on
the
the PlayStation. It was the only thing I ever really did. Like, yeah, arcade games.
I don't
It's
think I ever
really not
played
the
Tiger
same.
Woods golf. I'm a
Oh, it's
PlayStation
really
guy, but I don't
fun.
think I ever played that one.
Um,
You're a Swiftie though,
yeah.
right? Did I hear that right? What's
Mm,
your favorite? What's your favorite? We have a question in chat. Wants to know what your favorite Taylor Swift song is.
God. I was just really actually weirdly thinking about this. I spent a lot of time thinking about Taylor Swift. Just like, it's my favorite song, and I wonder how she's doing. Like, God, she's done so much great in the world. Yeah. My favorite. That's impossible. It's impossible.
That's fair.
I think the 10-minute version of All Too Well is probably her. It's a it's a perfect
Hmm.
song. It's a masterpiece of a song. Um, I think anybody who's maybe not even a fan of her music, I mean, I think even they would look at that and go, that's impressive.
Hmm.
Just everything about that song. But I'm a lot. Folklore is probably my favorite album.
Hmm.
But also I'm a huge fan of Midnights. Pound for Pound Midnights is just great. Um, You're on Your Own Kid being my favorite track on that. Mirrorball, my favorite track on Folklore. I think they're both number 5. Are
Hmm.
they number 5? I'm a fan of her number 5 tracks. Yeah, I could literally talk for hours
I
about
try. I
the
again. I
the
deal the same
genius
thing with
that
my
is
wife.
Taylor
Like
Swift,
she's
the
trying to
lyrical.
convert me and all this stuff. Yeah, it's like I have the same
Look,
conversations with
I
her.
mean, it's not. I think it's more just appreciating her songwriting.
Hmm.
She's amazing. Is she a performer like Madonna back in the day? I mean, Madonna is a stone cold badass
Sure.
dancer, all of that. But has Taylor Swift ever said she is that? No. She's like, I'm a singer songwriter. I'm gonna go and I'm going to take you to a different place. And that's, and then she's got some bangers. Like, what is it? The TikTok Swift banger Swift. I forget the whatever. The one like her Reputation album, which
Yeah.
I'm like, why have you not released your Taylor version Reputation, please? I'm waiting. I've been waiting patiently for that. Um, yeah. Yeah, 1989. I mean, yeah. I came online with her from like Red on because
Hmm.
I'm just, please don't kind of come for me, but I'm just not a country music fan. Like I'm not.
I'm
Like
I'm
the rest
not
of you
either,
guys
and
are.
I think that's why
Basically, I
I
still
never
like
like
music.
started down that path. Right, like it was that, but then I realized how much that she's evolved. Just the
Oh
storytelling and
yeah.
everything that she's
She
done. So
started with Red for sure. Well, she's always been a great storyteller. I just from I'm not a I just wasn't like I don't want to listen to country music
mhm.
unless it's maybe like Johnny Cash or um Johnny Cash or Pat's like old like Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline, like
Like old, yeah, yeah, yeah.
old. I don't know. Is Johnny Lee Hooker considered country or is he more blues? I don't know.
I would consider him
When
blues.
country's more bluesy, that's what I meant. But the twang stuff,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
yeah.
can't do it.
Now I know you've heard over and over and over again all of the theories. You get into an MCU show, an MCU
I
family.
can't answer any of it.
I
I'm
know
just gonna
you
stop
can't.
you.
I know you can't answer any of it, and
I wish I could.
yeah. But I know certain people in our live chat will literally have
I'll try.
a fit if I don't ask at least a question about
Please do.
theories and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um,
go for
I'm going to go with
it.
the major question that's like in capital letters in our form here
Mhm.
with the flower theories where Wanda and Agatha had flowers in their front yard
Mhm.
representing their powers color. Your character's flowers were
Mhm.
yellow. Does
Mhm.
that mean who we think it means? Is that a reference to Moonglow, a Marvel comic character? That's not
Um,
a denial, chat. No, it's fine.
uh, you know what thing? The fun thing about Marvel is like any good storyteller. I'm pulling it back to Taylor. You know, they literally do filter their things with Easter eggs. That's what they do. And you know, and they it's really fun to go sleuthing around.
Kevin Feige has entered the chat.
No, but I know, you know, I mean, look at I told you when I started, I knew nothing.
Hmm.
I knew nothing going back. I know that is, you know, I'm very much I'm very grateful when I work for them. I love working for them. Um just also an observer of color choices, very like Kubrick about that, you know, very intentional. Like I love when there's a theme. So that's about, you know, I appreciate the different colors.
Was that a? I will ask you
I
this
just
about that.
appreciate
Was that a Jack thing, or was that a Kevin Feige thing? Was that who? Where did the color palette come from?
You're just Jack.
Hmm.
Yeah. I know I mean, I know having worked with wonderful Jack, she does love colors. She
Hmm.
does. I mean, I have a history of her using color. Um, and that's just me stating a history. You know, I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying I have been on the um, you know, it must be red lips. Um, so yeah. Uh I personally I love all the theories. Um they're they're so impressive.
They get out there. Trust me. I have to take no. Like
They do, but I'm like, oh, I think you might be right.
right.
You know, like some of them are so good. Honestly, half the time I think like if you know, could you just actually change the mind of somebody in power because you know that's so interesting. Fans do really have that. They have a lot of power. They,
They
I
do.
mean, I think that maybe they don't realize it,
They
but I
do.
can tell you they do. Um, you know, people listen. If they're, you know, the so yeah, if you know, if they like something, if they want something, if they want somebody to do a character, if they think that person is the character, if they, you know, if they're like, oh, I think it's going to be this twist. I mean, make that known.
Hmm.
That's it's not true for all content by any means. You know, you're not. I don't think you're going to change. You know, Christopher Nolan's making a new sci-fi movie. I don't think anybody's going to be able to change the outcome of a Christopher Nolan, you know? It's be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm Christopher Nolan. I don't know if you've seen my stuff, but like I do what I want. Got Final Cut. Um I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan, by the way. Like massive. I could go on about those movies too for hours.
He's a damn. There's a dude that sees
He's a genius.
things
God.
in so many different dimensions. It's
Yeah.
absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
I can't even with him.
He's operating on
Yeah.
all the levels. And I get like an image of a volcano from like middle school or high school, you know, where they do the mantle, they do the whole thing. And I feel like that is literally him. I mean, he's at the top with the lava and he's all the way down.
Yeah.
Um, but not in like a way that they're trying, you know, he's ever trying to lead you down a rabbit hole just to, you know, just because he can. I mean, it really is on all those levels,
Right.
like a Kubrick or, you know,
Yeah.
something. Um, I love that. But yes, when you have a genre that is so interwoven with fans from the inception of it, pardon the pun, but the inception of it with the comic, from the moment they see the drawing, they're like, hey, that could be something else at some point. They're already fans are casting it in their head. They, how is something going to differ from the comics? Can you go off? How far off can you go from any source material? Like a Game of Thrones or the like. Or to my crushing disappointment, like with The Walking Dead, when I was like, please don't kill Glenn, because I can't. That messed me up so bad. I wept like a family member died. That's not okay. That's not okay. I'm not saying it's healthy, but I was so messed up with that, and I really felt so heartbroken. I'm like, I'm done. I can't watch you anymore. I stopped. That was it. I'm like, I'm sure there's some good stuff, but I'm like, you didn't have to kill him. You didn't have to. You could have killed somebody else. You could have made that choice.
The fake out though that they did, man. The fake out they did where they
Like,
got
that was
Abraham
so
first.
mean. Yeah. I'm like, that's sadistic. Like, now I hate you. And
Oh
now I'm not watching.
God, it was bad enough. It was like we were waiting for it, but then they had to twist that knife by doing Abraham first and then going after Glenn. It's like, oh God, y'all are killing me.
That was so not okay.
And everybody's dealing with it right now too, because The Last of Us,
I know.
came out, and people like me that played the game, we're all like watching all of our friends and family members that didn't play the game, knowing exactly what's going to happen, going, uh-oh. Because they're so excited about season 2, and we're like, don't get excited about season 2.
Really bad. Yeah. I don't think there was any way they could have continued. I don't think there's any way they could have done the season 2 without that.
No,
That's a very sad but unfortunate. Like, that's a major.
And that's the same thing could be said for The Walking Dead, though. Like, that's a major moment in that show, or in that comic, in that graphic novel. So it was
that he died.
Yeah, that's a major moment, and so was Abraham for that matter. But they gave that death to somebody else, and then they came back around and got him out of the picture again. It's fascinating.
I don't know. I think they could have kept going. I just wanted it to, but also, like, I love seeing. I almost called him Glenn, but his name's not Glenn. Steve.
Steve, yeah.
Did I just say Steve? Like, he's my best friend. Steve. Everybody. He goes by Steve.
That's Steve guy.
I am so enamored with him as a performer. So everything that he's done since then, I mean, could he be doing both at the same time? I doubt it. I don't think so. Not with that schedule. So I'm also I was so sad to see that character go, but also, like, the things that he as an actor has been able to do since then has been so rewarding.
You got done with WandaVision. Did you know that they were bringing you back for Agatha? That wasn't until it was kind of like a already in process.
Actually, wait.
I'm trying to remember when they actually announced
That's
Agatha.
No, I don't know. I don't know what I knew. I don't know what I knew. I'm gonna, like, retroactively get myself in trouble.
Right.
It's very slippery. Yeah,
it's interesting how they do the deals for these guys and I'm assuming with television it's probably the same way. There's probably an open-ended style of contract with a lot of these things where you can't really talk about it. It's just kind of out there. But I get it.
I mean, look, like I said, I absolutely love working for them. I don't, I love when I love the call,
Hmm.
um, but also being in this business for such a long time, like way too long. Like I have friends who are like, "How have you done this? Like, I don't understand how you're still like you're sane." I don't, and I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm not that sane.
Hmm.
Okay, let's not get crazy. I'm pretty not well in some ways." That's the weird. Like, I think I've gone progressively weird just from being in this business for as long as I have. I I know I have lived in experiences of saying, "Hey," like with Buffy going back, like, "You're there for 1 episode." I shot 1, and I was like, "Bye," you know? Um, I knew when I was there that people were very happy. I got the feeling like, "Oh, that was so cool." Um, but, when I came back, I was like, "Oh, I'm back again. That's fun." That was, I don't know how long that was. It doesn't feel like it was that long when I got a call.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember. This was a long time ago, but I
Right.
don't think it was that long. And then I had an idea that I might come back from that when it was like the producers were like, "We'll see you soon."
Hmm.
"We'll see ya. We'll see you soon," or "We'll see," we'll see you again." But there was nothing, there was no call, there was no, like, there was nothing on paper, there was no, I was just like, "Oh, you probably wouldn't have said that unless you meant it."
Hmm.
You know? Then, I go into other jobs being like, "Is this it?" Sometimes it literally is. It's like, "Oh, no, we're done with you. Bye-bye."
Right.
Like, "Okay. I would have liked that to stay." Or, like, once upon a time, still, I was in for 1 episode, and
Right.
then, like,
Look what happened.
"Oh, you're back." And then I'm back, and then I'm back, and then I'm back, and I'm like, "Oh," and, when it's finally like, "No, we're actually fully done." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Like, okay. Is there, like, surprise ending for me?
Are we going to see Dottie
So
again?
now what?
Are we going to see Dottie again?
You have to ask them. I can't tell you. I don't, even if I look, I would love I love working for Marvel. It's always my standard answer.
I love that
And
answer.
I'm honored every time they call. And when they've called, I've been surprised every time.
Hmm.
And when I've been surprised, because even if I would count on something, I don't count on anything. You don't. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
I've had things that I was gonna go do, and it's like, oh, the whole project fell apart, and you're already counting the money, and you're counting, you're like, oh, I can't wait to that's gonna be so cool to work with that person or whatever, and then it's like whatever, or how many countless projects died because of the strike or from COVID.
Hmm.
Forget that. I mean, I worked through COVID. We were with Wanda the first time. That was one of like two jobs, two productions that came back um,
Yeah.
before anybody else did. So I had the very rare opportunity to actually work for a little bit anyway during that time. But I mean, that derailed so many things. The strike derailed so many things. The fires derailed so many things.
Hmm.
As you're talking now, the industry in general has just been it's
It's got rocked since
decimated. It's
2020.
just
Like
decimated.
it's been
Yeah,
nuts.
5
And
years it's been. Yeah, 5 years it has been, like one thing after another, which the whole world has experienced, the whole country has
sure.
experienced, but LA specific as an industry, like, has been it's complete. I mean, there's nothing recognizable about it anymore at all.
Hmm.
It's so, you know, I've been in it long enough to see gradual changes, but it's been literally like it's just jumped over a cliff. It's like, you know, like everyone's sort of like, what's happening? You know, the whole thing is it's like in free fall, which can birth wonderful things, and it also can be very painful and destroy so much else in its wake. So when I say I'm like, I don't know. I woke up, you know, January. I was actually just looking at that picture. I was like, New Year's Day, you know, and it was like a beautiful day out. And I was like feeding the rabbits that are outside my house. I was like, wonderful. And then before I knew it, it was like, there's a fire. I'm like, what? You know, like, and then just watching that continue to unfold and like, oh, it's here too. And then so watching your city just burn from
Mm-hmm.
both sides. Didn't see that coming,
Mm-mm.
you know, didn't see that, you know, so again, my point is thought things were going a certain way, thought things were in the card, thought shows were happening, thought this was going, and it's like, no, nope,
Mm.
hard plug, pull the plug on all of it, you know, so many different things. So I just don't. Someone's like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I don't know. I know when I'm on set somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll know when I've cashed a check." Be like, "Oh, I worked. I'm here. It's great. But hey, don't get too comfortable because you literally might get." The first time we did WandaVision, there were horrible fires in LA, and we had to shoot production. We had to shoot production down.
Mm.
We shot it down for COVID the first time, and then it got delayed again because we couldn't literally film outside. It was the air was so bad.
Mm.
We couldn't literally breathe it. People were passing out. It was nuts. So
Thanks.
no, it's got to be like really zen with it.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I'm just gonna be Keanu about everything. I feel like Keanu.
are you involved in the discussions at all about the revival of Buffy? I know that's been kind of a thing lately.
Oh gosh, you just love asking me questions you know I can't talk about.
I do. Because I would be remiss if I didn't. Like I'm gonna get a bunch of crap from chat going, why didn't you ask her about this? Why didn't you ask her? It's like, I know she's not gonna answer, but I gotta ask so I can get
know
them
a
off my
lot of
back.
stuff. I do. I know a lot of stuff.
There you go. See that, chat? She knows a lot of stuff. Stop making me ask.
I know a lot, but I couldn't tell you any of it anyway. But I do. I know a lot.
You
know a lot.
I'll actually you said something once that I completely agree with. Sometimes it's fun to, I guess, experience it with everybody else, right? Like, because you've talked about, especially when you go start working in the Marvel realm, right? Like all of your friends and family are like, okay, what do you know? What do you know? What's give me the goods? Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? And you're like, even if you did know, just
got some pages. That's how much I know.
Just let it happen. Just let it happen in front of you and enjoy it and, experience it with the rest of us, But now if you act like Sarah and you walk into my chat and go, I know something you don't know, absolutely not, Sarah. You know who you are. That's ridiculous.
I know who she is too.
Yeah. But Emma doesn't do that. Emma's not like, I don't know something. I just don't know something. That's better. That's better. Take a page out of her book, Sarah.
God. I really don't know so much. I know I don't know so much more than I know. And that's true for so many things. Apply that, fill in the blank. I mean, if I do know something, oh sure, I know. I actually, yeah, I mean, I can't talk to you about it, but that's kind of true for just about anybody around. Like, hey, do you know what's going on with blah blah blah? I'm like, okay, and then they're like, well, I'm like, it's not my story to tell. I'm not telling you shit. You're not gonna get me.
Now, did you know that today is National Superhero Day?
No.
Today is National Superhero Day. It was founded by Marvel Comics, to honor the very first comic book character ever published. I think that was done in the 30s or something like that.
Is that Superman?
It was not Superman. I can't remember the name. It was not Superman. It was some random newspaper comic book.
Spider-Man? Oh
It was
God,
just a
you would think
random
it would be one.
newspaper like illustration thing or whatever. And that's
Mhm.
Marvel, Marvel Comics went back and like it was like in 95 they
Oh my God,
established
why would it? Oh my God, I'm so dumb. You said Marvel established it, and I'm like, that's
Superman.
not Marvel.
Well, but they still, it wasn't their property, whatever it was. They just
Anywho,
decided to enact this endeavor.
which I
And
know nothing.
what it really was an opportunity to celebrate, all superheroes from all walks of life, right? And that was something I wanted to kind of talk to you about before we ran out of complete time here was being a superhero is, in my opinion, yourself and helping spearhead some research on MS and whatnot. Like you
I'm no superhero, please. No, I'm just some girl.
doing work for foundation work and stuff like that, frankly, qualifies you as that. So tough, deal with
No,
it.
no, it's
Um,
not.
but
It's not.
you were diagnosed back in
Mr. Beast is
2010.
a superhero. Um, um, yes, yes, 2010.
But you kept it a secret. Why?
Mhm. Because there's so many reasons that you don't get hired. I
Hmm.
didn't want to give someone another one, honestly. Um, I mean, truly. And honestly, so much of those early days, it was very confusing anyway. It's like maybe you don't have it. It's kind of like, do you have it? You do. No, I don't know. Do you? You should get tested again. Let's do it. Let's do a lumbar puncture. Let's um you have a lot of old damage, old scar tissue, which I had viral meningitis when I was a baby and almost died. And they're like, I already knew I have like ringing in my ears, which I have had ringing in my ears my whole life, but I never knew I wasn't supposed to have that.
Hmm.
I, but that's from um, uh, meningitis, and then it affected my eyesight as well. So I wore glasses. Like I have, like one of my eyes is just so sad. I mean, I can see out of it. It's like this one. I'm like, I can see you, but like, don't put me behind a car. It's like 2080, something sad.
Hmm.
It's probably worse now that I'm like always doing everything on my phone. Um, and yeah, so I mean, it stands to reason that some of that scar tissue could have been from, or I say scar tissue because they look like a lesion, like a non-active lesion in your brain looks like scars. I was like, it could, I mean, one doctor was like, very much that can also be from that.
Hmm.
Um, and again, you're not presenting as a typical case. I still am not, honestly. I'm not typical at all.
Hmm.
I'm not on medication. I was. I'm not. I feel better off medication, but
Hmm.
that's again, there is no blueprint. It's this disease is literally a fingerprint. There are no two cases alike. I'm incredibly fortunate. I know that. Um, I get yearly MRIs. I've been in what they call remission for many years. There's no new lesions. Many of the lesions that were there got small, they shrunk. So it's like, but I also am very aware that there could be there's damage. I mean, there's scar tissue in there, right? So there's something that's been damaged. I can't tell you, they couldn't tell me what so next year, I mean, be like, oh, that doesn't quite, that's weird. Why is it like, why am I feeling like that? And it's like, oh, that's because that nerve was damaged and surprise, but my prognosis has been very good,
Hmm.
and I mitigate things by, like I'm not going to be out in the heat. Just like I'm trying to find, there we go. There you are. Sorry, my camera. Um, I'm making everybody seasick. I apologize. Yeah, I don't, I don't go, I don't like the heat just makes me like, ugh. really physically really heavy. I mean, I don't know how many people, I know a lot of people really love the heat. They're like, yes, it's getting hot. I've never been like that ever, even as a
Psychopaths.
kid.
Absolute
I
psychopaths.
want to, I want rain and I want cool clothes, honestly. I love San Diego was great because it's like 64 and beautiful all year. And that's fantastic. It's like an ocean breeze, whatever. But up in LA, it starts to get like it just starts to get hot. And I just start to get the like people who get the sad disorder in winter.
Yeah.
And I start to feel like everything's just not as wonderful anymore as soon as it starts to get past 74 degrees. I'm like, I'm good. So yeah, be in Joshua Tree. That makes total sense. But yeah, whatever.
I
Like
didn't
you
want to
said, I
say it.
make
I
a
was
lot
gonna
of bad
ask.
decisions. No, it's fine. It makes no sense at all. I should be put down. It's fine. Um, um, yeah. No, I mean, there's a pool. Whatever. Stay indoors.
Right.
Um,
From outside right
yeah.
into the pool, back inside. I mean, I would be.
Back
I'm the same.
inside.
I'm the same
It's
way
not
in the
good.
Midwest, and it doesn't. It doesn't get quite above 100, but the humidity here kicks my butt. So I'm just like, I don't want to. I don't want to be outside.
Oh my, yeah, no, humidity is this, yeah, that's the worst. But I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel good. I mean, sometimes I'm like, gosh, is this because I'm getting older that this that like or is it a result of having MS? Is it like, and then because I can't answer the question, I'm just like, well, what does it matter? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, am I okay? Am I not able to do anything? No, I can do everything I want to do. There's nothing, I'm not, thank God, like knock on something. I'm not, I'm okay. I watch my stress level. I'm far more in tune with my body. I eat really cleanly, except for the pizza that I'm going to eat tonight. It's bad, but I'm going to do it. Yeah. Um, which is not a bad thing to do. It's a gift to be able to be in touch with yourself like that and feel it like, oh, you need to check out right now. You need to go into a hole and just make it really cold and allow yourself. I don't know why I'm speaking of myself in third person. Allow myself to be lazy for a minute because I'm not that way. I love working. I'm happiest when I'm busy and working, and I'm the happiest when I have multiple things I have to do. And then like I work hard, and then it's like, okay, and then I can just play hard. I feel like I feel like in order for me to rest, I really have to earn it. So if it's situationally based, if it's damage in my brain or whatever from mess, and it's like, no, you just need to not do anything right now.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow you can go back at it, like to learn to be able to do that. Be like, okay,
That's the thing. When you have a
all right,
grind, like what we talked about at the start of the whole night, like when you have a grind like you just got off of, you need time to reboot in a way.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, and being a parent, being a parent in this climate. Boy, I mean, and I mean that on all the levels, like this climate, all the climates. It's, and the existential dread that I have with AI and like wondering, like, is my kid going to have a job? She can be able to do anything when she's older. Is AI going to come for her dreams too? You know, there's just my husband and I both were just like trying to navigate this new world that we're in and watching a lot of um basic rights being chipped away at. Like just, I know there's people, all political, whatever, and so I don't need to get into that. But
We experience
being
my wife and I.
straight up, decent human being,
Yeah.
being kind and telling the fucking truth, and just like that should not be political.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not up for grabs. And I'm sorry. It's just,
We
I mean, of course, if you follow me at all on Instagram, everyone knows my political beliefs, but
right.
like, whatever. I am so welcome to having a conversation with somebody who I don't agree with at all, on just the chance that I might understand you. I might not agree with you, but if I can try to understand you, then that's half of it for me. I just flat out don't understand
Right.
so much of the things that consistently are going on, and circling back to the business, there's just so much surrender involved with COVID and everything everybody went through with that, the strikes that the industry and the town went through with that went on for a very long time, and no one got anything out of that.
Hmm.
Like that was horrible. And now the fires and everything else. So, forget MS, just like being just a person going through the world right now. It's like, dang, like,
It's hard
can we
from
just get a break,
yeah. It's
right?
hard from a parent's
Just like,
it's hard from anybody's perspective. As a parent, what you're talking about is, it's the same thing that my wife and I are dealing with.
yeah.
It's when our son asks why and we're literally in that same boat. We're like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand why it's so difficult to just be a decent human in this world sometimes, right? And that's kind of where we're at, and or why sad things like this are happening. But being a person that's championing some causes and whatnot, I mean, that is, everybody has that ability if they choose to embrace it. And you've chose to spearhead some MS Foundation initiatives. And I personally, I follow you on Instagram. I personally love seeing some of your commentary on there about the current political climate. So again, I think bravo to you and everything that you do and everything that you stand for. I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you, and I left out one thing. The reason I decided to be like, okay, I'm just going to come out and
Hmm.
like share this. Like, I have this wonderfully interesting disease. When I knew I was going back for Agatha, the shooting schedule, the way it just had happened with COVID and the fires and the breaks, I was like, oh, if we're outside, if we're gonna revisit, I don't, I knew nothing. I'm like, are we gonna go back to the town? I knew nothing. It was very early stages. I was like, oh, I can't physically do that. Like, I was physically so done
Hmm.
after that shoot, because no one knew, and it was brutal. Like I said, we had to shut down production many times because it was unworkable conditions. Um, and I was like, I'm asking for a lot of ice packs. I'm asking for things, trying not to be the person who's asking for things, because it's like everyone's in the same situation. You know, I'd find myself, sitting, because we're, like, oh, we're gonna sit outside and shoot it was like the talent show or something. It was out in the square, and it
Mm-hmm.
was ungodly hot. And I just, my whole job for that moment was just to sit there, and I think they were going to catch me for a minute. And I was like, oh my God, I'm I don't feel well,
Mm.
and it was obvious enough that the director was like, are you okay? Like, are you upset? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Like, please, oh my God, now you think I'm difficult, or you think I'm being ungrateful, or like, oh God, like, I'm like, I'm spiraling on top of it. And all I'm just wanting to do is like, I need to get the fuck out of this sun
Mm-hmm.
before something goes wrong. Like, I could feel my body just being like, honey, no one should be out in the seat, but you especially right now
Right.
need to get iced. And I knew that that could not be, I couldn't repeat that again. So it was like, I called up Jack and I said, hey, I think I need to go public about something you don't know. So anyway, she was like, what the fuck? She's like, this whole time? Like, you didn't, how, I can't believe you didn't say anything. It wouldn't have, like, and I'm like, no, 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 it's not, like, no. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you sorry for? Like, you did nothing. No one has anything to be sorry for. I am the one I've made my own choices, and I'm just letting you know. I don't want special treatment. I don't want anything. Like, I'm fine. I am happy. I'm healthy. Like, it's okay. I was just like, hey, can you give me a heads up if you think you're going to be shooting outside the summer in the heat? I just need to make some modifications. I maybe need to get a cool vest, or I maybe just need to just things, just heads up. But like, again, no pressure. Like, I'm not asking for I just, like, don't change anything. And she's like, you're so dumb. She's like, God, I give you anything you want. Like, what the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is ask. And Feige, same thing. The whole response from Marvel, from Disney, from everybody was just like, of course, like,
Yeah.
whatever you need. And I'm like, again, I don't want anything.
Right.
I'm fine. Like I said, I just maybe not shoot. Let me just cool off. Like, whatever. Like, I'm still capable. I can still do everything. Like, don't think of me as damaged.
Right.
And then I was like, and then the other side of that was, I need to be an advocate for myself, and I need to be an advocate for many people who have things in this industry who are very quiet and who fear, reprisal some way. Or, hey, we just went a different direction, and they'll never tell you why, but it could be because they just don't want to maybe deal with you. Like, and I can understand that too, honestly, from long hours and the amount of money that goes into something, and you need to, everything is so tightly scheduled, and you're, any sort of delay
Mm.
is a delay.
Yeah.
But there's also the human element of that, and you need to take care of the people around you. And so it's, I can't say enough wonderful things about then everybody, like, top down. Like, that's how you lead a ship. That's amazing, and I wish I had done it sooner, and I wish I could have helped other people earlier, but like, hey, because there are other actors who, have what I have, who are not good, not doing well,
Right.
unfortunately. And so, if I can offer my perspective, which is absolutely a very real, and this is also very real. Having this can also look like this. Hey, look at me. I'm okay. For now, hashtag, but who isn't? Shit. Like I said, no one knew the fires were going to decimate our town. Things happen. So that's, I guess, my point. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm just going to go live my life.
That's important though, that being that advocate, right? And showing people, like, just by saying it just allows people at least a little bit more confidence and whatnot out there. I know you got to go. Are you working on anything right now that you can tell us about, or is everything still
Nope.
hush hush? Okay. When are we
doing Twitch? I'm going to Twitch. I'm going to be twitching.
When are we getting our first Twitch stream? That's what I want. That's the big question I want to know. When are we going to get that first Twitch stream?
That's a really, really good question. It depends on whether or not I want to Twitch having a laser treatment or not. It's very high priority. Okay, so important. First world problem. It's not a problem at all. It's a luxury, but I do have a scheduled intensive skin laser that will effectively make me look very scary for about 10 days. So it's like, I mean, I could just
You could
just be real. I'm kind of semi-convalescing because I cannot for sure go out in that sun. at all, and I look scary, and hey, maybe I'm just gonna like look very scary and hydrate and rewatch The Pit for the third time, or um, you know, refamiliarize myself with The Gilded Age because it's been off the air for so damn long. I'm sorry, there's like a piece of hair.
So I have a
There.
proposition for you. I have a proposition for you.
This
So
week, this coming week, probably, or next week. I don't know. Well, yeah, soon.
later this year. You saw my background. You know, we've been setting this up. I'm a massive Lego fan. That's what we primarily do on this channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Later this year, and I know you're a Next Generation fan. We're getting
like Psycho.
Yeah, we're getting our first Enterprise, the Enterprise D as a Lego set. You and me building Lego Enterprise on Twitch. Can we make that happen?
Like we're doing this right now,
Yeah.
like we are right now. We're both building
we
one.
just chit chat. We just build on a table, and you build, I build. We just chit chat for a few hours.
Oh my God. We can't get it done in a few hours.
Well, we don't get the whole thing done, but we just build till you're done, till you want to stop for the night.
I'm gonna be way worse at this than you.
It's fine. It'll be easy.
I'm okay. Yeah, I say that. I think that can definitely work.
All right.
I think it's definite. That is definitely an option for sure.
I know you're a massive Trekkie, so I was just like, this makes a lot of sense. Come on, we can put the two worlds together.
I am. I saw William Shatner again this weekend. I interviewed him once for a thing I did called S&M on YouTube.
How is he in real life? I've never met him. Is he?
I mean, I have this face. I'm like, hi. I hadn't seen him since I interviewed him, and I was like, hi. And he's like, hello. And I was like, do you remember me? He's like, of course I remember you. And I was like, no, I don't know. Cause like you see a million people, and it was a long time ago, but I did S&M, and you were so gracious. And I don't even know why he agreed. I did an episode of S&M with him, and I'm like, I am losing my mind right now. I didn't even hide how I was so embarrassing. It's like, I'm so excited. Anyway, hey, welcome to this Emma. Look who I'm with.
Right.
Embarrassing. But that does, like, it is cool to meet your heroes. I wanted to ask him this trip, but we just couldn't. His schedule, and he was slammed and whatever, and he barely took breaks, and because he has so many people. I mean, he's like, he's Shatner. He's just awesome. And I desperately wanted to ask him about his experience going up into space.
Yeah.
I really wanted to talk about that, but I didn't get the chance. But I mean, I don't know. In some dream world, I could get him to come back, and if I could get a Twitch with William Shatner and talk about space, I think I could just maybe retire.
I think you could break the internet.
I'm like, hey, can I come to your office and Twitch and talk about space?
All of the yes, please. All of the yes.
I mean, that literally would be, yeah, that would be pretty incredible. That would be pretty incredible. Yes to Legos. Okay. Yes to anything to do with space and science and nature and things that actually really matter to me. Yes to puzzles. I love puzzles. I do them all the time. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, would anybody just watch me do a puzzle and I'll drink some wine?
We'll kick up some jazz, grab a glass of wine, start doing some puzzles. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Put on Kind of Blue by Miles, and just like, I'd have to do it. I'd have to do it when my daughter goes to sleep.
Yeah, that's fine. And Lego's not that much different from the puzzle.
When she's at school. Yeah. That I'm day drinking, which is bad. So maybe not.
We won't tell anybody except the entire internet. It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah. Emma, you have been a freaking rock star tonight. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, especially on your quick turn with the con and everything this weekend. You are a freaking badass. I appreciate you.
You are. And hopefully, I mean, I couldn't see your screen, so I don't know, but hopefully people
People have been
are,
freaking out the entire night, and it's all because of you. I'm hoping everybody has followed Emma over here on Twitch. We're going to get her hopefully live streaming here within the next week or so, doing some things. And
definitely,
sounds like Emma and I got a date to build some Star Wars Enterprise D Lego later this year. So that should be a blasty blast. So
that's it. And I just want a few more things in my merch. And also, yes, since I haven't gone, I haven't started yet over there. If you're on Instagram, please
yes,
DM me and be like, hey, I'd really like to see you do this. Like, everyone, so many people ask me to do S and Emma again, which is the thing I did, which I mainly the advice stuff. They're like, can you please start giving about bad advice again? So that's something I think
those Instagram shorts would be amazing. I would love
what?
that. That is Instagram like reels and stuff would be amazing.
Well, yeah, if I were to do it on Instagram, then I would be editing them again. I would be making an actual thing, which is fine, but I get the luxury with edits. I get the luxury of pausing and figuring out how I'm going to answer it and what I want to cut away to and what sound effects I'm going to do, as opposed to just like, I can't run away from this. Okay, what do you want me to do? What should I do about my cheating boyfriend?
Bad advice on Twitch would be incredible.
How do you feel about slashing his tires? I'm not saying you should do that. Okay, I didn't say to do that. You can't come for me for that. You can't come for me for that. I'm just saying, how do you feel about it?
Oh,
you take that. You take that and take that for what it is.
Yikes.
And on that note, I'm going to go eat some pizza.
Go eat some pizza. Okay. I'm going to turn all the redeems back on so you guys can send Emma off the right way. Thank you so much, Emma. We appreciate you all. Get all the hype in chat, all the alerts, everything we can muster in chat right now. Emma, thank you so much. You're an absolute badass. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
It's the turbo.
Bye.
It's the turbo. It's